Well, here we are. It's now the 25th of September. 2 weeks have passed. Our lights are on. We've had air conditioning now for 2 weeks. But look at this water. Why do we have water here? Well, we got Hurricane Jeanne right off our coast here. It's supposed to come on shore or offshore onto the peninsula in about 4 hours. It's amazing. We've got another hurricane coming up. So we're going to start this process all over again.
Road, because we do have another warning out. Dave?
Yeah, in fact, Jackie, tornado warning currently. Doppler radar indicating a tornado over Titusville. Started out over the Kennedy Space Center, but it's moving so quickly, I think by now it's likely in Titusville. And with the details on that, Rob Eicher, it's going watch 13 Doppler radar. Rob, what's going on over there?
The tornado is expected to be near Titusville Airport at about 6:50, then near Canaveral Grooves at 6:55, and they're near Lone Cabbage Fish Camp at about 7 o'clock. Ed?
Well, we just got another tornado warning. We have our Doppler radar system right here in Melbourne, and so we're getting these warnings all the time during the storm. Now the storm is not yet hit us. We'll take a look outside in a moment, but we're all boarded up again, and we're all ready to go. So these are our tornado warnings. Fortunately, we still have power. And here's Georgia. Hey, Georgia, can we say hello to all those people watching this video? Hey, stop licking me. She's got a little collar on her here because just after the last storm, she had a little operation. And so they took care of a little problem that she had. But then she started licking the wound, and so we had to put this collar on her. And she's accepted it, and she doesn't even know there's a storm going on.
They would get to that point, but in the meantime, bands have been producing tornadoes, or at least the threat for tornadoes so far in Martin County, also in Okeechobee County, also in western St. Lucie County.
Well, it's going to be a long night tonight, but I think we're going to weather it.
Jeanne continues.
Mary's made all the preparations again. Here's some extra water. The biggest problem we're going to have is we're going to lose lights and power, and of course that eventually leads to pretty hot and humid in the house, but we'll probably have about 3 or 4 days before it gets uncomfortable. Well, we're outside here on the porch, and it's about 6 o'clock. The storm's supposed to come through after midnight tonight, and we're beginning to see some activity. Here's this large cabbage palm. We got our tree permit to have it taken down, but the fellow who takes these trees down had so much work that he couldn't get to it. So I put about another 4 or 5 lines tied up to some other palms and pines here, hoping that it'll stay tonight, and I think it will. Now these are all the amenities for living in Florida. Well, we're going to cool the house down as much as we can tonight in anticipation that we're going to lose power, and we'll be able to handle this for about 3 days, and then hopefully power will be restored. Well, we're all boarded up just like last time for Francis. Now we're all boarded up for Jeanne, which is coming in about 3 or 4 hours. Well, this is looking south on Acacia, right in front of our place, and you can see the streets are all clear of all that debris. And if we just make 180 degrees, and we'll look in this direction, and you can see most of the debris is gone. So what's it going to look like tomorrow? That's the issue. And so we'll see what it's all about. So I'm going to sign off for now. It's the 25th, I believe, Saturday evening here in Melbourne, Florida, just before Jeanne. Jeanne is out about 100 miles off Vero Beach and coming in towards Vero Beach, maybe Sebastian, and we're about 50 miles north of that area. So I feel like Jim Cantore, the weatherman. on the Weather Channel, reporting here from Melbourne, Florida. Just as I walked in, I saw these large pines moving, and this is really what we worry about. They're right behind the house. We've got several of them, and then there's some right here in front of the house. And this will be the issue, whether these pines can hold up under the storm. Okay, we're in the full brunt of the storm now. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know whether you can see much in this camera. Okay, here we are out the other side of the we're on the front porch here. There was a light. There's something rubbing outside. Every once in a while you can see a transformer blow. Again, the light here is not good. It's about 1:30 in the morning. Can't really see much, of course. Maybe you can hear it. This is the full run of the storm. Probably 60, 70, 80 mile an hour. Again, right out the front of the porch here. Amazing. The rain is running almost horizontal here. Some of it. That tree is holding pretty good. That's that big palm tree that we roped off. About 1:30 in the morning, Sunday morning. The eye is passed over Sebastian or Vero Beach. Owen Shea at Cornell University called us a couple hours ago and predicted that the eye would, or the storm would pass by about 10:30 or 11, 12. I think he's right. I'm not sure you can hear the sound. Pretty fierce out there.
Category 2 to Category 3 hurricane strength right here along the coastline, and you can see right over Taft, just north of Kissimmee, that's where we have a very heavy rain band right now. I just stepped outside the station just for a second, so you don't have to. It is breezy, it is going to become more windy. I can see Sonia Crawford. Lord have mercy, girl, what are you doing? We'll see her in just a minute. Right now you can see very heavy squalls all the way up and down the coast. It's going to be a very, very windy, stormy, damaging storm wind night. And again, I'm watching these heavy squalls that are rolling in just north of Kissimmee in toward the Poinciana area. We're going to go to, no we're not. Thank goodness she came in. We were watching Sonia Crawford here off camera. She's the little 90-pound wonder who's out holding onto the street sign for dear life. I hope someone has a nickel of sense down there to bring her in out of the wind. 50-mile wind gusts reported at Lee Road. And 30 sustained 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts at I-4 and Lee Road right now in downtown Orlando. So we're already getting the tropical storm force winds, and the hurricane force winds will be here in about another 2.5 to 3.5 hours, probably a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. We will start to get the hurricane force winds, and boy, look at this. This is just a relentless. We've been talking to our satellite truck that is down in the Barefoot Bay, Miko area. Steve Barrett, you're live on the phone. Steve, tell me where you are.
Right now, yeah, we're right outside of Barefoot Bay, as a matter of fact, and a house of a tree cutter who lives along here and is riding out the storm with some of his family and some of his friends here, right on the Indian River, across from US 1. We must have 80 to 90 mile an hour winds going on here right now. These folks are inside their house. They're all boarded up. They have only had power for probably 3 days, and all of a sudden, I want to give you a little nat sound break. I'll let you listen to what's going on outside. I'm actually going to open up the door so much you will listen. What you're going to hear is a combination of wind and generator noise, that noise we're all too familiar with. Let me open up this door and you can just hear what is going on outside. I don't know how well you can hear that, but you can't step out the door. If you reach out the door with your hand, it about rips the phone.
Okay, here we are. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. This has been a movie report.
So these folks are just hunkered down, as we say, waiting it out, and just the whole house is rattling. You can just hear the wind whipping from inside the house. It's kind of a scary situation, in fact.
Okay, it's about 3:30 on Sunday morning. Mary's going to narrate. What do you see, Mary?
Well, I can hear a howl, and the wind is pretty straightforward. It's kind of a south turning east. It's an east-southeast wind.
Right.
And we're here protected in a little cove in our porch, screened-in porch, and the winds are whipping all over the place. The big pines that are real tall, you can see them up above, and they're just whipping us all the way around. They're whipping all the way around. So those kinds of pine trees will just whip right off, probably. We might lose a few more trees, or other people might be losing a few more trees on this one.
And we've seen a lot of transformers go tonight with a kind of a green glow. And
we're in the worst of it from Vero Beach to Melbourne. It's a real bad band right now. And the winds might be as high as 105, 110, 115. So we're right in the midst of the hurricane winds.
we got about another 2 hours.
The same stuff.
Same stuff. So that will give us about 6 hours. And it's amazing, we've still got power.
Now that's the bad stuff right here.
Yeah.
We're going to get in the house.
Okay, we're going in now. We're going in. Okay, it's the 26th September, and it's Sunday morning about 8:30. This is where I was taking the pictures last night, and did a survey of the place. We have no damage. The storm is still with us. This nice little orange tree here collapsed, and if you look back, you can see one of the large pine trees collapsed, and this palm tree here is leaning, and we've got still a lot of storm here. Okay, we're in the tropical storm winds, which will be anything less than 74 miles per hour. And it's again a big mess, and so we will survive. Okay, here's this big palm tree. It broke loose again last night, and now it's just leaning over the roof here. We've got to get this taken care of. I tied it up again, but one of the come-alongs here must have broken owing to the wind. And basically, we're in pretty good shape. No damage. All the shingles are in place, so we didn't have any problem in that regard. As you see, we still got a lot of winds here. A lot of winds here on Sunday morning. We're not going to go out and look for Bigfoot, and because they want us to keep off the road, and we'll go ahead and honor that. So anyway, it was a big night last night. We're looking out our patio window here. It's still blowing very hard. Yeah, we still got about 40 to 60 mile an hour winds here. We had to take down this tree yesterday. We did that just before we buttoned everything out because it was hanging over the wire. You can see the stump there. Where is it? Can't really see it too well, but anyway. Yeah, we still got a big storm here. Okay, it's 11 o'clock on Sunday. I'm doing a little bit of a damage assessment to see what the place looks like. Well, here are these plywood I put up. Dick, good friend Dick Hubert from Oregon just called. I told him that I'm certainly in business now to put up plywood to simulate hurricanes out there in Oregon. Anyway, the only damage that we got on this storm really was we lost 2 of these soffits. And I've got them, they just came down. It's not a problem. Okay, on this side of the house, well, we got issues again with this big palm tree. It broke loose and it's leaning heavily towards the porch. And this one come along here held it, but some of the others broke away. So I've got to take care of that issue very soon. Well, sorry to see this orange tree go. It's actually not totally gone, but you can see here where the wood gave away. This was kind of a favorite of mine because I had given this to Mary 6 years ago as a small tree. So all this will be pruned. Here's some more of nature's pruning. Oh, the wind's picked up again. And that big snag came from this tree here. We still have some heavy winds. And this grapefruit tree still made it. In fact, there's some fruit that we'll have probably next April or so. Just behind the place is this large pine which gave away and got caught up in another pine. So this will have to be taken care of in several months from now. This is behind the place. Yeah, we've got a lot of issues here. And this is a oak that gave away. Anyway, this is kind of no man's land. We don't worry about this. There, the house is back there. Now here's something else that gave away. Not too much debris on the street now. Okay. Most of it was created a couple weeks ago with Francis. So there won't be that much cleanup. We've cut that sycamore way back. Okay, that's about it. No damage at all to the house except for those soffits, and that wasn't an issue. Okay, Dick and Judy, others, friends, relatives. It's still raining pretty heavily. We haven't got Bigfoot yet. We've got to go down and pick that up. But they got curfews and things like that. They're not supposed to be on the road, so we'll perhaps do that tomorrow. Look who showed up. Paul, how you doing? Tell us about this tree. Okay. Yeah, that's Paul. What about, give us an eyewitness on this whole tree system.
I guess the one come along that we didn't think was going to hold is the one that's holding the whole thing up, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight there, pretty dangerous.
Very tight. And then we got another come along on the other, and there's the roof. And we're trying to get it so it'll go between the two houses, but Paul found a tree guy, and we're going to have a tree guy take care of it.
Forced Dad to have it taken down professionally.
Oh yeah, well I like to do these things myself. Yeah, this thing is leaning heavily. And we got another come along right there. Here's another palm tree that we took down.
Push the red button.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Ivor. And you haven't seen me in this picture very much, but this is a big come along over here. And we've got this whole rope system. We're not going to try to save this tree, but we're going to take it down. And Paul picked up a business card. There's a guy down the street. Right Cut Tree Service. Okay, we're going to take that down real soon. Okay, everyone out there, wherever you are, we live.
Hi there.
Tell us about your hurricane experience.
It was extremely stressful and scary, but we came through it okay.
Yeah, right.
A safe room becomes cozy.
Yeah, there's Mary, there's
It was a long
Julie.
night, and we're glad it's over.
And there's the puppy dog. What's his name, of course?
Lucy.
Lucy.
Like
Hey,
the
Lucy,
dog.
how are you doing?
And she loves hurricanes because she gets a lot of attention.
Okay, right. Okay, good. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye!
Well, I'm going to work this morning. It's the 27th of September, 2004, and the university doesn't open until tomorrow. And here we can see some of the debris left over from the effects of Jeanne here in the village. This is just on Carissa, right next to Acacia. where we're at. So here we go again, more debris. Here's one of the live oaks that dropped down here as a result of Jeanne. You can see it just lifted right up. There's the root ball. Here we are at the intersection. We've got the National Guard directing traffic. Well, if I'm lucky, the bagel shop's open, and I'll pick up a dozen bagels for the people in the department. One of our favorite bagel shops here. It's Long Island Bagels. Here's a common sight. These guys are working on the lights. All the stoplights stopped, and we're just getting back together on our four-way stops. Well, I'm here on Country Club Road,